Hi, it's Mark Owen from Moose Marketing and PR, the editor of Punchline magazine, and welcome to Punchline Talks, the big interview. Today I'm joined by Ruth Dooley, who's the partner and head of litigation support at Hazlewoods, and she's just been made the new chairperson of Gloucester GFirst LEP. Congratulations, Ruth, and welcome.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm really excited, if you don't mind me saying, that you've actually become the new chair. I know we've known each other a long time. Your heart really is placed here in the county, and of course you've been around the block a few times. Well, you've been here in Gloucestershire a few times. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. I've been involved in the business community of Gloucestershire for it's about 30 years now. So it's a long old time, and it's been really great. It really has. I've got so many people I know in the county, and I absolutely love Gloucestershire, and I think we're a fantastic and vibrant business community.
Now, you've been obviously on the board for quite some time of GFirst LEP. How long have you been actually involved with the organisation?
Well, it's about 10 years now, since the start really of the LEP, because initially I was in one of the sector groups, the professional services sector group. Then I got involved with GIF, which was the infrastructure fund. Then with the growth hubs when they came along, so I was on the growth hub board for a few years, and then joined the main board 2 years ago.
Now, 10 years is a long time, because I was chairman of the Federation of Small Business, I don't even know, for I think 12 years, regional chair for 2 years. So I know, I can really appreciate the amount of time and effort that you have to put into these sort of organizations, and you don't get paid. You do it out of love at the end of the day. People don't realize that, but you don't get a bloody penny, and you do it because you want to try and help the Gloucestershire community. But how are you going to find time? You've obviously, got a senior role at Hazlewoods. What's going to be the score? Because this is a big job.
Yeah, well, Hazlewoods have very kindly given me some extra time to be able to do this role. It wouldn't have been possible had that not been the case. But there's lots of people who are involved. The rest of the board, for example, they all do things, and we've got the executive, as you know, run by David Owen, and that's a fantastic body of very talented people. Now,
obviously, stepping into Diane Savory's shoes, the big shoes to fill. What do you hope to bring to the role?
Oh, I mean, Diane was inspiring. She was absolutely heart and soul Gloucestershire. She was such a fantastic leader of GFirst LEP. You're right, they're absolutely huge shoes to fill. But I'm just hoping to sort of stand on her shoulders, so to speak, as they say. You go on with a strong base. You can go on to other things and expand and go even further.
Now, obviously, being a chairperson, have you ever been a chairperson before? Because I don't know how it works at GFirst. Is there a big table like, because when you were on the board with GHURC, we were, weren't we?
That's right. No, I was also chair of the business sector services group. So I've chaired the sector group for quite a few years. So yes, I'm used to chairing.
Yes, because it's a lot harder than people think, isn't it?
Well, you've got to be fair, haven't you? You've got to let people have a say, but you've still got to sort of keep control and make sure you sort of stick to the agenda and don't go off topic. So it is a challenge sometimes, but usually everybody's heart is in the right place, and that's the key thing to remember.
Yeah, what would you say is the key tip for being a good chair to keep it all rolling?
It's to listen, but it's also to involve those who are less good at coming forward. So if you have people around the board table who are not usually quite so good at expressing their views, you should encourage them to contribute, because often you'll find that some people who stay quiet have actually got a really valuable contribution to make when you encourage them to pipe up.
It's funny, actually, that's exactly what I used to do when I was chair of FSB as well. And they tend to have, it's funny, isn't it? Whoever shouts the loudest sometimes has the least to say.
Everybody has a valuable contribution. Some people spend longer saying it than others.
Always a politician, I think, Ruth. So I don't know very much about your background, I'll be honest with you. I've never sat down, never had the pleasure to sit down with you and had a glass of wine or a cup of coffee or anything.
We'll have to put that right.
I would very much like to do that if you don't mind. If you don't mind me asking, are you married? Do you have children? Where do you live?
Yeah, I'm married. I live in Tewkesbury. I have stepchildren, and that's it really. I was a partner with Grant Thornton before I became a partner with Hazlewoods. That was about 10 years, a bit more than that now, 12 years ago. And actually I've sort of started and did my training at what was Clark Whitehall then, which is now Crow. So I know a lot of the accountants, shall we say, in Gloucestershire, as well as other people.
People have a view of accountants, but when I first got into marketing and business, and you have a sort of, the very old accountant sort of dry sense of humour. But every accountant I seem to know really well is completely bargain. They've got big boats and motorbikes, or they're a lot more great fun than they tend to appear, if you don't mind me saying.
We've definitely got a bad image, but some of us do what we can to put that right.
That's right. So how long have you been at Hazlewoods? Sorry if I missed that. You might say
2009 I joined Hazlewoods, so that's 12 years now. Yeah.
12 years. And have you worked your way up throughout the company, or did you?
Well, I was a partner in Grant Thornton before I came to Hazlewoods. So I came in as a partner, and I've done various roles. I was marketing partner for quite a few years. And then over the last few years, as I say, I've been heading up the forensic side and the litigation support department. So that's been a big role, which has been challenging, but lots of fun.
Yeah, so when you say about challenging, what sort of things have you come across since with COVID? And, because it has been extremely difficult for all of us as a business, but surely in this particular department, you must be extremely busy, Ruth.
Well, the courts, of course, closed down for a bit, so that sort of put a bit of brake on some of the cases that were going on. But the key thing is, I do a lot of valuations of businesses, and trying to value a business when you've got COVID going on is really quite difficult, because sometimes businesses it can have a very positive effect on some businesses. Other businesses are completely floored by it. So that was very sort of. It was difficult to pin down exactly what the effect of COVID was going to be without a crystal ball. And of course, none of us have had a crystal ball. So, and businesses were very different in the way they reacted as well. So, some really did amazingly well, and others just sort of relied very much sort of on government grants and furlough and the help, which was all good. But there's a sort of positivity and a flexibility that's needed, and valuing businesses in those sort of scenarios was difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I found the same. You had some people that really picked it up, carried the ball, were determined to drive it forward. And then you had others who kind of rolled up in a little ball into a little ball and wanted it all to go away and couldn't react. And yeah, to value those sorts of companies must have been extremely difficult. Was there we all know the hospitality sector has been hit. Who hasn't done well, if you don't mind?
Well, I was valuing a business soon after COVID started, and it was involved in letting accommodation to students. And of course, all the students went to move to online education. So there wasn't the demand for accommodation in the same way. So they had a bit of problem sort of letting their accommodation. But, we expected that to be temporary. We didn't expect that to be a long-term effect. And that's right, because now most of the students have gone back, and they've gone back to their accommodation. So you treat it as a temporary effect on the business as opposed to a long-term damage to business. So that sort of thing. But you had to sort of guess when I did that valuation, it looked as though they would be going back in September, but then that didn't happen. So I had to revise the valuation that autumn as well. So it was a case of a sort of a rolling scenario for some of the cases I was involved in.
Now, going back to the GFirst LEP and your different roles, now the role of the GFirst LEP is kind of changing anyway, isn't it? The government has where you used to have all the big pots of money and decided on the big infrastructure things are going on. That doesn't seem to be the case. It seems the government has now decided that the councils are going to deal with that. Is that going to be a big issue moving forward, or have I got the wrong end of the stick here?
Well, we don't know yet. That's the point. We're still waiting for the outcome of the LEP review. So we don't really know what the future role is, but it's evolution, not extinction. So that's where we evolve to. We'll have to see. But if you think about what the LEP has done, not just GFirst LEP, but the LEPs across the country, I mean, there's been some fantastic achievements. That if you just think about the growth hubs, the help that businesses had through the growth hubs is phenomenal. And, you know, you've only got to think, if you were a minister, would you want to lose any of that? Would you want to lose that? Would you not want to encourage and continue it? So I can't see that the sensible government won't carry on supporting the LEPs. And also during the pandemic, the LEP was a fantastic voice of business to government. There was a lot of feedback that they got through the sector groups, through the growth hub, back through the LEP to central government, invaluable from the point of view of policy during the pandemic. And that two-way flow, both the government helping businesses, say, through the growth hub, and businesses having a voice to government through the LEP. I can't see that will stop. It may evolve, but it won't stop. And I think there's a great future ahead for us.
What do you think is your proudest moment with the GFirst LEP? What's the biggest thing of you know, you've been involved with it a long time. I'm really proud of the work that I did with the GHURC, and you look at the keys now, you know, and the way it's been rolled out, even the Southwest bypass, it might have its problems, but the prison's been, you know, I'm really chuffed. All of us can, I think personally, can be quite pleased and chuffed with ourselves for putting that much effort in. What about you? Not just so much yourself, but GFirst LEP, you've been on that board a long time. What's the one thing that you go, yeah, that's...
Well, it's every time I drive up or down the M5, to be honest. It's the motorway service area, because the GIF group, the infrastructure fund, provided the funding to help I think it was the southbound, no, it was, which way around was it? The southbound was built first, and the northbound, but all the equipment would have had to go back had there not been some bridge funding provided. And that was provided by GFirst LEP. And the whole concept of the MSA and the fact that it draws upon the charity side of it, and people getting employment, and also the local product, all the suppliers, the local suppliers to the service station. I just think it's a wonderful, wonderful achievement and a wonderful showcase for the county. Every time anybody drives into the service station, they go, wow, compared to other service stations, and it wins award after award. It's a real beacon for the county, and I just love the fact I had a very small part to play in that.
It's funny you say that. I know people who go there for breakfast, who live in Gloucester, they drive up there, and people who just go and visit it.
Yeah.
You know, you are right. It is a very, very special place indeed. I went there for its grand opening, which I'm sure you were there as well. Yeah, very, very special. I'm always impressed with the roundabouts. How do you decide which roundabout should be done and which roundabout shouldn't be done?
To be honest, that sort of decision early on is part of the projects part, the executive part of it, looking at the various projects. So by the time you get to board level, those sort of the relevant projects have already been identified. In terms of all of the grassroots ideas that come forward, we don't really get to see that bit. It's sort of filtered before it gets to us, and then we look at several projects and decide from those. But the decision as to which roundabout is not usually done at board level.
No, I'm a bit disappointed with that, actually, Ruth. I thought it was all you guys. No, I just think, you know, GFirst LEP, a lot of people don't realise the amount of money and expertise and the way those roundabouts have been done. Sorry to go on about them. I just think it's fantastic.
No, I think it's fantastic. I love the hamburger one. I think that's superb.
It's great. Barnwood as well, and the one that's going down to Hampstead. You know, all that level is just absolutely brilliant.
The board signs off all of those projects, so we do get to look at them properly once they're all sort of put together. So yes, we do have an input into deciding which projects to sign on. So yeah, we do have a role.
So moving forward, then we've got some great stuff happening. Let's be honest about it. We've got the forum in Gloucester. We've got the Junction 10, you know, the Cheltenham Junction 10, which I'm really excited about. We've got the Cyber Central at Cheltenham, and the big one for me is the A417 bypass.
Right.
It's been signed off as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got, obviously, if he can pull it off, Dale Vince and what's happening in Junction 13 with his new stadium, which is the main project I've just listed there that really gets you excited as the new chair.
Well, I think the Cyber Central project is the fantastic one. I feel that GCHQ has been a sort of sleeping giant in the county, and it's really waking up now and, you know, engaging with business. And there's so much wonderful technology, amazing technology around cyber and around GCHQ, the link up between them and the commercialization of some of those fantastic ideas. I mean, I've got some clients who are involved on that side of things. And the fact that, you know, we're going to have that huge cyber park next to GCHQ and all that's going on there is wonderful, but it's also spilling out across the county. So we've got digital centres, we've got Newent School doing cyber courses, we've got Gloucestershire College being recognised by NSCH. It's brilliant. It's just so much exciting activity going on around the cyber world, around digitalisation. It is a real exciting opportunity for the county, and I think we're going to see just so much growth in that sector over the next few years. And we really want to be the cyber county of the country, don't you think?
I think so, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt, I'm very excited about it as well. To be honest with you, it is. Well, it is the top one, isn't it, at this particular moment?
Yeah.
And it's nice. I think, you know, Gloucester and the Forum, what they're trying to do there, and as you said, the college, we could get more kids. I think the big problem is like the 2050 GFirst LEP did the survey 2050 and trying to keep young people here in the county. What's your ideas there? You know, if you could have a magic wand, what would you do, Ruth?
Well, we call it the magnet county in the LIS, in the local industrial strategy. We want Gloucestershire to be a magnet county, and I think the cyber park, the Forum, what's going on Tewkesbury with the Garden Village and Dobies and the designer centre, the designer outlet centre. All of these things are really exciting prospects, I think, for young people. We obviously need the affordable housing as well in order to attract them into the county. But I see it as all of those as sort of magnets. So the Forum, what's going on in Tewkesbury, what's going on in Cirencester, what's going on with Cyber Central. They want exciting jobs. They want it to be buzzy and a good place to live and a good place to bring up their families. And that's what we want Gloucestershire to be. All these projects to attract people in and you know, help the economic development of our county.
Well, what do you think about the Great Western Gateway and what they're trying to do there, join the, you know, Wales with, you know, Cardiff area, Gwent, should we say, with Bristol, Gloucestershire? What's your view on that?
That's superb. I mean, it's a really, again, a very exciting opportunity. The focus of the Western Gateway is very much aligned with the focus of Gloucestershire in terms of particularly the cyber and the digitalisation of the economy. It's in the right places. There's the Fusion project as well, as far as sort of the green agenda is concerned. And that if that were to come to the Western Gateway area, that would be fantastic in terms of job creations, and also in terms of when we build back better from the pandemic. We really do want to try and make our economy more green, more sustainable, and social inclusion. It wants to be fair as well. We've got to think about all of those things as we build back our economy from the pandemic. And Western Gateway is a really good mechanism to sort of put us on the par with you know, the Northern Powerhouse and the Midlands Engine and the Western Gateway. They all fit together, don't they?
They certainly do. They certainly do. But I'm going to ask you very quickly, because we're running out of time, unfortunately, Ruth. What is the latest novel you're reading, and what's the latest book on your bedside cabinet or table or there on your desk?
Well, I've just finished Suite Française, which is my book group book, and I can't remember the name of the author because it's a Russian name and it's escaped me. But that's a fantastic read if anybody wants to learn about sort of what it must have been like to be running in front of the Nazi invasion and then living under occupation. It's really, really good novel. But the one that I'm on at the moment is, my father died a couple of years ago. And when I was a child, he read me the whole of the Arthur Ransom series. Right. And my mother gave me the books, and I've just been reading my way through them. So I've just done my favourite one, which was We Didn't Mean to Go to Sea. And now I'm just about to start Secret Water.
Right, fantastic. I don't know them myself, but I'll definitely look them up. I was actually recommended by, hold on a second. No, that's not it. Oh, it doesn't matter. This is the book I'm reading at the moment. It's Hell Bay.
All right.
we go to Scilly Islands quite a lot, and it's actually written by an author who lives on Scilly. So I bought it for my wife, and she said it's great. So I thought I'd give it a go because I don't read. It ever takes me forever. What's your latest? Do you listen to CDs or records or the radio?
I like classical music, so I tend to have classic FM on. So that's and I went to the opera recently up at Lomborough, which was wonderful. So così fan tutti, enjoyed that.
Fantastic. I've just got into classical, actually, Ruth. I don't know if you saw it, but I interviewed Russell Watson recently.
I saw that you had. I haven't watched it though, I'm afraid. Did he encourage you to listen? Did he?
Well, he didn't. He didn't actually. I should have done my pre-prep, which I didn't. I've got to confess, I looked him up 15 minutes before, and I wish I had, because I didn't realise what a huge star he was. I felt quite bad afterwards, but he did actually sing to me twice. I got the stick, so if you get a chance, do listen to it. What a nice guy. And since then, I've been doing my gardening, and I've been listening to his album, and it really is brilliant. I've really got into it. So anyway, unfortunately, we're wrapping up. I always finish these things up with the top 3 business tips. Could I have yours, please, Ruth?
Yeah, my first one is be flexible. It's what we were talking about earlier in terms of those businesses that adapted to the pandemic and how they took the opportunities that there were and flexed their businesses accordingly. I think that's just a really key point for business. The second is net zero. There is no question about it that it's coming our way. And the businesses that prepare for net zero are just going to be in a much better place than those who sort of hide away and don't face up to the changes that they will need to make in their business in order to make them net zero. And the third one is diversity. And I don't just mean sort of BAME or women and men, I mean age as well. So I think a business that recruits people all in the same sort of mold tends to stagnate, whereas those that are brave and, if you recruit people who aren't in your own image, who are a bit different, they're going to bring something different to your business and strengthen it, because a team is about lots of different people and different strengths coming to the table. And that is key, I think, to business success, is just to embrace that diversity.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more there. My team stretches from 19 to 60, 61, I think it is.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And it's young people, and well, it is a mix of everybody, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ruth Dooley, thanks ever so much for joining Punchline Talks. Hopefully I'll get to see you soon, and congratulations once again.
I look forward to that glass of wine.
Look forward to it too. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.